maybe break away from that. First of all, I guess breaking away from it in general is probably a good idea. But I mean, are there ways for people to kind of like ease into this, or what are you suggesting?
Absolutely. And one of the things that we wanted to start out, especially with our Facebook listeners, is put in the comments. Are you struggling with energy? Are you struggling with sleep? Or are you struggling with both? Because a lot of people really are. And we want to be able to address you as the listeners. So make sure to pipe in your comments, and we definitely want to address them.
Definitely. And, it's always interesting. I'm personally myself, I do drink coffee in the morning, but other than that, nothing else. And by the time evening rolls around, I'm one of I guess maybe the few that I'm asleep like about 5 seconds after my head hits the pillow, and I never have a problem that way. But I've talked to so many people that really struggle with whether it's getting up and after it first thing in the morning, or like you say, people are eating Monster energy drinks and all that kind of stuff, and then trying to figure out why can't I sleep at night. So I think so. Bottom line, it sounds like we're bringing this on ourselves.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And what's so interesting is that it's you're using a lot of those drinks, like you said, to keep yourself awake during the day. You wake up groggy, you start drinking coffee, you're using your energy drinks throughout the day, you're eating fast food, per se. I mean, we have great fast food, but it's healthy.
Right.
And it's, back to the roots. But as far as the foods that we're doing that are harmful to us are depleting our body of the nutrients that we need to give ourselves energy, and then to be able to have restful sleep.
What's some of the examples of foods that might be having this kind of effect on us?
Let's talk about foods in a minute, but what I really want to address first and foremost is that we're not educated as a people. We aren't, and a lot of people say, what do I start with? Because they literally don't know. Somewhat like our bodies being an automobile, we have to have the right fuel in order to run, and most people don't even get that. They've never been taught that. They've never been taught what good eating is, and so they really don't get it. And one of the core foundations to all of this is our nutrients. We need our vitamins and minerals. And most of the foods that people are eating today, like Donnalyn mentioned, it's all the fast food. Basically, they've taken out all the vitamins and minerals. And what have they substituted? Chemicals. Preservatives and synthetics of all kinds. Well, it's not a good trade. And we really kind of want to address this as far as, what we want to look for.
Because it's not like it's been preserving me very well.
It's
you're
not
like
preserving
fine wine.
anybody.
I'll give you that $5 later. Thank you.
Sure thing.
So interesting. All right. So now where do we go next?
Well, how about that example you have about the factory? I love that.
Okay.
I think that helps people see.
Definitely. So when we talk about our vitamins and minerals, let's talk about, workers in a factory. So basically we've got 20 factory workers here, and the boss comes in and he fires 15 of them. And he says, the rest of you 5, you need to keep up the demand of all these 20 that were here. So not only that, these people are finding out more stress, more work, longer hours. But not only that, he comes back in later and he says, well, I've already also fired the janitor and the secretary, because...
So answer the phone and clean up this mess.
That's right. Answer the phone and do all the organizing and clean up, all the clutter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing that we are doing to our bodies. Basically, we have fired most of our factory workers, which is our vitamins and minerals. We don't get those. And now we are bombarding ourselves with all these extra chemicals and all these synthetics that the janitor is supposed to take care of, and so is the secretary. And so we basically tax ourselves doubly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a good combination with the fast foods. And this is why people just can't keep up. More stress, more work, longer hours. Your body is really fighting hard to keep up with the demands, but it can't. And so that's where we lack the energy in the day, and we can't sleep at night.
So if you're feeling kind of lethargic and that kind of thing, this could be the root cause.
Absolutely.
Right.
And we always look for the root causes because that's really where we get to the bottom of it. And we can see that our society, this is the way that we have gone, and this is really what's happening, and this is why it's kind of a balancing system. You know, we are not having the energy of the day, we can't relax at night, but we have other factors that you were going to mention too.
I was.
Yes.
Yeah. But you know, the main thing is that you're taxing, like we said, the liver, kidneys, all that are working harder. And so then at night, you know, some people are eating late at night, and then their bodies are still trying to process food that they don't need to keep. That's what keeps them up.
Right.
And so if you start like in the gut, you know, which is where we digest our food,
Sure.
where our body
That's
is.
where the fuel comes from, right?
Exactly. And so many people don't know. We always say that's your, you know, like, what's your gut about it? Well, that's the core of your beginning to start assimilating your vitamins and minerals.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you can't do it right, that's where you can bring in certain things, whole foods, that will help the process go faster. And you can bring in probiotics and fermented foods that will help with that whole digestion process, so that we can get the vitamins and minerals that will go in and make your system more healthy.
What's an example of some fermented foods?
Well, sauerkraut for
Oh,
one,
there you go.
you
Yeah.
know, but you can
Live sauerkraut. It's
live
gotta be
sauerkraut. Yes, live sauerkraut. But also, you can basically ferment anything, and it's so easy. We could probably even do a little thing
Oh,
on
that
that.
would be fun.
Yeah, because you can ferment all your vegetables also, which just helps with more of the probiotics in them.
Good probiotics.
You know.
Well, I know in Korea, kimchi
Right.
is another one like that. I mean, they have so many different kinds, but wow, that's super popular there.
That
Exactly.
is so good too. Well, even just basically getting a good multiple and
Right.
vitamin and mineral multiple.
You got that tongue tie thing
daily.
going today too.
But you know what? Even our listeners, it would be nice to know, are you getting a good daily multiple? I talk to so many people, and if they're taking a multiple, it's mostly synthetic. They're getting it from these cheap brands, and they're not really good quality, and it's really going right through you.
So you're talking multiple vitamins.
Good multiple vitamins.
But now,
We need a good, because that really fills in the holes of our eating.
So how do you know whether you're getting a good multivitamin or just good marketing?
Well, I always say you really need to know the company. You need to research the brand. You need to know what each one of those products are, and if they're synthetic or if they're real.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of what you see out there is synthetic, and so people say, "Oh, those are expensive. I'll take the cheap ones." It's like you're just ripping up dollars and throwing them in the trash if you're taking cheap brands. Just don't even take them at all, and so most people don't.
Right.
They're expensive, but really that is going to fill in the holes. We need those. We need enzymes. Enzymes are good to help break down our foods. And, we need those raw enzymes, raw foods in every meal, and even raw enzymes, because that's what creates a good digestion. And
Right.
like I said, it's all in the gut.
And there are some people that, for more complicated health reasons, can't have raw foods because of the way that they digest, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
That's where those good whole products come in, the ones that have a lot more integrity. The companies that, when they can't produce a product because the raw material isn't available, they don't just fill it with junk. There's integrity in a lot of companies, but yes, they might cost a little bit more, but overall they're gonna take you a lot further and make you healthier, keep your immune system higher. For some of us, it will help with weight loss, to assimilate properly, and then of course the energy level. And sleep is so important, because that's where your body rejuvenates. And so if you're really, you might fall asleep really well, but some people, like a lot of us, might fall asleep well, but then you're disturbed throughout the night. And to have a sound sleep and wake up feeling great is the key, because they're linked,
I'm kind of disturbed in general, but yeah.
Yes, well, yeah. And that will be another subject.
But interesting though. So when it comes to the foods that we eat and or the vitamins that we take, let's first of all talk about the vitamins. So apparently, this is really important because we're not eating maybe like we should, huh?
And this is where, you know, it really goes back to what I mentioned before. We have to have the right fuel if we want our bodies to run efficiently. And it takes those vitamins and minerals, probiotics, and enzymes to have a happy gut. And a happy gut is a happy functioning system that will energize you. It will give you that natural energy that you need. And as we go into the kitchen, you'll see all these wonderful, you know, fruits and vegetables that we start with. Most people aren't starting there with their meals, and it's such an important thing because this is foundational. What we eat and what we drink is foundational.
Right.
And it makes a huge difference in not only raising our energy in the day, but helping us sleep at night.
You know, and it's been interesting too when you know, you talk to people about the plethora of diets that there are out there. Where some I know one gal that's on a strict carnivore diet, and others on this kind of diet and on that kind of diet. But the bottom line is, if we're not getting the fruits and vegetables, we're really doing ourselves a disservice.
Absolutely, and to me, that's still foundational.
Right.
We need lots of good vegetables, especially, and that's where people are lacking. Biggest thing, if people would make one change, just add a lot more vegetables to their daily eating habits. You know, sometimes they're getting fruits. Most people are getting plenty of proteins and starches. It's the vegetables they're lacking.
I'm guilty.
Yeah.
Right.
And we just need more, and they take the place of a lot of those other things that we shouldn't be eating if we just include them more.
So, and obviously, raw vegetables much better than cooked vegetables.
Right, and
Or lightly steamed.
yes.
Oh, there you go.
And we can have a combination of both, but just get them in there.
Right. And then if fresh isn't always available, you know, and of course organic versus non. Well, start somewhere.
Right.
But organic might be better because then your body isn't dealing with the preservatives. So you are getting the vegetables, but then you're getting preservatives. Then your liver's going, okay, I need to work a little bit harder. That's where your fuel's being burned up instead of, you know, getting into your bloodstream faster.
Right.
So a lot of frozen organic vegetables are better than not having any vegetables at all.
But
So
going organic though is really, I mean, you sidestep a lot of other things that you
certainly,
may not want
but
to
I
have in your body.
say start somewhere.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but certainly, and you know, our grocery stores and Back to Basics, bless their hearts, provide us with so much,
Right.
and they make it much more easy than we had 5 and 10 years ago.
Well, and there's a lot of different things that you can do, because I'll just come clean here and say, I can't stand broccoli. And I didn't think that it was possible to actually fix broccoli that tasted good. And I was proven wrong by a friend of mine who, she put together a dish that it was like chock full of broccoli, but
Right.
it was actually very tasty.
Exactly.
And if I ate it, I mean, it's like, Mikey won't eat it. He hates everything. I was that kind of person when it came to broccoli. So I mean, it's just a matter of coming up with the right.
Sweet potatoes too. You didn't like that, but you
No,
liked mine.
and yeah, but your sweet potatoes weren't. I mean, why people take a sweet potato and then put marshmallows and all kinds of other brown sugar and everything on it? It's like, ugh. I mean, this is like nasty candy.
It's so sweet to begin with,
yeah,
anyway.
But you had used what was it? It's like cilantro or something. I can't remember now.
Yep, the cilantro, the onions, the butter. I mean, it just was more savory. It was, they're lovely.
And when you came, and we're going to be going back into the kitchen. If for those of you following us on Facebook Live, and we've got a bunch of you online with us right now. By the way, good morning to Roger, Beatriz, Scout, Tiffany, Dar, Brittany, Darla, and a bunch of other good folks there. Thanks for joining us. But the last time we went back in the kitchen, as we're going to do here in just about 10 minutes on Facebook Live, you did this thing with the sweet potatoes, and I was already starting to practice my fake smile and all of that, thinking, oh, I got to eat a sweet potato. I hate sweet potatoes. But those were, I mean, a matter of fact, to take that a step further, I actually went home and fixed that same recipe at home. And so, I mean, it was not just, idle talk. I mean, I really did like that.
You enjoyed it.
And I didn't think I would ever like sweet potatoes.
Yep, absolutely.
Because I'm sweet enough.
Yes.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, getting a little deep in here this morning. So now, when we go back to the kitchen here in a little bit, is that basically what we're talking about now? Is how to make sure that you get a lot of this stuff in your diet, and maybe with some creative ideas of how to make it all palatable?
Well, simple.
Yeah.
Simple's good.
And that's step number one. To me, you know, we really need to, it always starts with the fuel that we get in our body. And we're going to talk about a few more things. But one of the other things that I think really sabotages our energy today, and we've kind of, this is again a balancing thing, but most of the jobs people are in are sedentary jobs. And so basically they're sitting all day, and they don't give their bodies a reason to relax at night because you've been sitting all day. So, you know, it's important to get out and exercise. And just to walk around the building isn't exercise. You really need to exert some physical energy every day. Every day. It's not like 2 or 3 times a week. You really need to have some type of... If you want to have more energy, you've simply got to move your body. That's just the bottom line.
You know the old saying, like, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. But also, it does create energy.
Yeah.
Put on music. We got some great music here through this station. 5 minutes, just 10 minutes, just pumping up, dancing in place, just to get your body going. A brisk walk.
Well, there is something about, I mean, that's, I know my wife and I would like to go for walks out where we live, and there, it is interesting how, you know, you get out there and you do a brisk walk for a little while, and you feel a little bit better, you know, throughout the rest of the day. So, I mean, there's something to that.
Stretching, using resistance bands, you know, all that, moving, you know, because you're working your muscles, help with your overall health to give you a little bit more energy. And again, you're sleeping better at night.
Yeah, I wanted to share one thing too. We talked about knees earlier. And I had some knee problems a little while back, and I've been doing stairs every day. I go up and down my stairs, you know, 10 to 20 times every day. And let me tell you, my knees are so much better. And they said it really needs that cushiony. So if you have knee problems, it's because you're sitting too much.
Makes sense.
And it's not even the walking, it's actually it's completely like stairs, where you're really bending those knees. So just get out and move. It's amazing.
If you don't use it, you lose it. I like that. That makes perfect sense.
Okay, one other thing that I really wanted to bring up, and this is where, you know, we're not giving our body the physical, but we are putting too much mental stress on our bodies. And we talked about this in an earlier show on the 5 brain waves. And how when you are stuck to technology all day long, cell phones and computers, basically it puts your brain in beta mode all day. So it's really at high stress all day long. And so when your body wants to relax at night, and your brain, it's really hard to calm down. So like I said, we need to increase our physical, but actually greatly decrease our mental stress. And what our cell phones do, it's in high stimulus mode. So most people will go to a computer, and then when they have a break, what do? They get on their cell phone. Their minds don't have any ability to relax throughout the day. And this is super, super important. People don't even know how to go for a walk without a cell phone. Just go read a book. Go do yoga. Do breathing exercises.
You can go for a walk without a cell phone?
Well, keep it in your pocket if you want to keep
Exactly.
it for safety. But basically, learn how to function during the day without being in high stimulus mode. Huge for being able to sleep.
I'm going to say, though, that I have an app on my phone that I love. So even though we're going to say don't, you know, turn it off, it's called Calm.
I've seen that.
And it is, like, if you're just needing to turn it on and set it aside, it will take you through breathing. You know, because some people just don't even know where to begin.
You get your little moment of zen right from your phone.
So you can use it constructively.
Well, and I think I've also heard too, when it comes to cell phone use, that you know, if you do it too close to bedtime, you know, you maybe need to, you know, take a break away from the phone for a couple hours before bedtime and make it a lot easier to get to bed.
At least 1 hour, if not 2 hours. Do relaxing baths. That's where I love my essential oils to calm down. I can put them on the back of my neck. I can diffuse. But have some relaxing exercises before you go to bed, because especially what people are doing, they're watching action movies all evening long, and then they're getting on their cell phones and doing games, and you know what, your brain doesn't have the ability to just calm down. And these are
So you have to
all
intentionally
working against you.
You have to intentionally work at making sure that you
At least
calm
at the
down.
beginning, because then after a while you get that, that dopamine going,
Mhm.
and then you're like, you don't want to do that anymore. But at first you do have to you have to be fair and love your body. I mean, it sounds so kumbaya, but we are in control.
Right. Hey, by the way, Donnalyn, Roger Houston is saying, "Hey, Donna, I'm watching you on there. Hi, Donnalyn." Roger says hi.
Hi, Roger.
There you go. You got a lot of people watching. Hello this morning to Brittany, Marlena, Sherry, and of course Roger
Well,
as
we
well.
appreciate it. And has anybody made any comments about anything we can answer questions
No,
about?
but if you do have questions, feel free to chime in on our Facebook Live page because we're more than happy to. And what was the question that we posed early on?
Are they taking supplements, or are they
Right.
dealing with any type of sleep or energy issues? What are they dealing with? I mean, we just want to kind of get a feel for what people are experiencing
Right.
and ask questions. So,
And your website always has great ideas and many ebooks available to get started on cooking with essential oils and healthy foods, how to improve your sleep, how to, she's got it all going.
And again, that web address is.
it's erleentilton.com, and that's ERLEENTILTON.com.
Easy
And
enough.
basically, if you email me though, and that's ask@erleentilton.com, I will actually send you a free ebook. We like to give giveaways on this show, and this ebook is really called Essentially Delicious, and it kind of gives you some ideas on what you can take for breakfast and lunch and dinner and snacks and desserts, and a lot of good healthy recipes that you can actually just include in your day. And like I said, people aren't being educated on what a healthy diet looks like. So get the free ebook and get started with this, and let's see if we can help you out. This is what we do best, is walk people through what a typical day is,
Right.
and help you figure out maybe where some of your weak spots are and how you can improve and get better. So reach out to us and let us know how we can help.
Well, and one of the things that you mentioned about the essential oils that I found pretty interesting too when we were cooking back in the kitchen before, because you bring in some really interesting extra flavors, but also a lot of great nutrients. And I didn't realize, depending on the type of essential oil, I mean, it can really make a difference right there.
Absolutely, because our essential oils, if they're made for internal use, and most of them aren't, they're not pure enough. But we only use essential oils that you can take internally. So adding them to your foods actually stimulates good gut metabolism. It's very good for cleansing and alkalizing and strengthening and improving your organs. That's what we want to have happen. And so, for instance, drinking more water, add a couple of drops of lemon
Absolutely.
to your water is so important.
Because typically none of us drink enough water
Right.
each day.
No, we don't.
We say we do,
Yeah.
but we don't. And it's so important because water is what helps flush out impurities.
Sure.
And hydrates you, so everything from your brain down to your toes, works better. Less dysfunction going on.
Makes sense. I could
Yeah.
use a lot less dysfunction. Now we're gonna switch gears here, and on KRIM we're gonna get you back to more of your favorite music. But if you're following along on Facebook Live, and we hope you'll join us there as well, we're going to be heading back to the KRIM kitchen, and give us a quick little preview of what we're going to be doing back there today. Basically, what you were just talking about, as far as the different.
Basically, we're going to look at what a full day's meals can look like when you're including more raw fruits and vegetables and just healthy proteins, and what it can look like for you. And it's kind of fun to go in the kitchen. Let's see what something looks like, so we can help educate you on what a healthy day of meal looks like.
And none of this is terribly laborious or time consuming or anything. It's all pretty simple stuff.
It's all simple. If it's not simple, I don't do it. So,
That's
and
fine.
I always start with fresh.
I like that idea a lot. All right, but here on the radio, we're going to get you back to more of your favorite music. Have some tunes coming up from Jim Croce, the Mamas and the Papas, Blind Faith, Jay Giles Band, and a whole bunch more. But first, a quick look at Rim Country weather.
Oh, yay.
On.
Okay. All right, so now we're back in the KRIM kitchen, and again with Erleen and Donnalyn, and well, you got all kinds of interesting stuff here.
Yeah, we do. Well, I'll let you start.
Well, fresh vegetables and fruits, right? We're talking about like sauerkraut,
right,
or anything, but cabbage itself. I mean, how beautiful is this? First of all, I think people just don't ever look at fruit and vegetables and how beautiful they are. But
well, and it makes a nice, I mean, if you're trying to decorate a plate, you can do an awful lot, especially with red cabbage like that.
Love them.
Yes, and I mean, to me, it's just the colors.
I love
for everything
greens too.
Right, of course.
Pickled beets, that's interesting.
And carrots we all love.
Sure.
And fresh lettuce. I mean, if you're even going down to the fact that you're eating a sandwich, to have your lettuce on there. I mean, you find ways of putting fresh vegetables in the food that you're doing every day. Garlic, and of course, citrus, apples, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. There was a reason they said that.
We use a lot of garlic at my place. We've not seen any vampires ever. So
right?
It works.
And then you have all your berries.
Super high in antioxidants.
Exactly.
Really good.
Well, I've heard people say too that since they increase their intake of vegetables and fruits, that they hardly ever get sick. And in this day and age, when everybody's talking about COVID and stuff, that might be something to pay attention to.
Absolutely. Well, it's all about building an immune system, and that's what builds our immune system, our antioxidants, and this is what these provide.
And I was saying earlier about like the colors. Well, they all really do have reasons for what they can do for you. And I pulled this off of the internet, which you can go to many sites by just Googling fruits and vegetables and colors is sort of what I did. I found this website called Living Rainbow Foundation. And then I thought, rainbow, we all love rainbows. Yeah. And here we have a rainbow, and that's part of what it is. And
very cool.
So this chart that you can get, many of them online, will correlate, the different colors and what the benefits are for your system. So, and then, like we talked about coffee, lots of people love coffee. Well, when you can drink something like green tea, organic green teas, you're getting a lot of energy with them, but the benefits of doing something like this versus coffee, or at least limiting your coffee.
Just a better choice.
Better choices. Dark chocolate, so I'm not saying you can't have your sweets, or cocoa nibs. You can be putting those in your smoothies or in your cereal if you do eat cereal. And then fresh walnuts and almonds. These are your snacks. Like
healthy fats.
And it's really surprising what kind of nutritional value can come from just a small handful of almonds.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super high in protein and low in fat.
Right. And are also help with, reducing cancer possibilities in your system. So I just say, if you don't know what to do, the ebook helps. I Google everything. And so there's so many reasons. And I think educating yourself on what you can do, what they do for you, sometimes just knowing the benefits will encourage you to do better with them, instead of...
Absolutely.
I always start in the produce department when I go into Safeway and Bashas'. I go that way first, fill up my cart, and then you just pick up the essential other things after that. But this is where you should start.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Absolutely. So we're going to kind of do some fun things with starting with this kind of stuff. And I thought the first thing that we like to start our day with is a smoothie or something similar to that. But so I'm going to just show our listeners how to make a smoothie really quick because a lot of people don't know. So I'm starting with about a cup, a little bit more than a cup of water. And I am actually, oh dear, I forgot spoons. Forgive me here. So
no, you're good.
We are going to start with some frozen fruits. This is blueberries. So about a cup of blueberries. Let's see if we can, nope, we didn't make it all in, but oh well. We do the best we can. So this is frozen blueberries, and now we've got frozen pineapple.
Oh, nice.
And what's nice about them is they're cold, and you know that is always refreshing.
Right.
But also, then there's less. You know, people say, "I buy this," you know, your fresh fruits, and then they go bad sometimes before you're finished eating them. So if you have them ready, frozen, bam, 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 they're always there for you.
Makes sense.
So we've got our fruits. Now we're going to add our vegetables, and I always like to just add like spinach or, you know, some of our power greens.
A lot of good nutrients in there.
A lot of good nutrients. We need the nutrients and fiber there. Okay. And then our next thing is we are going to put some raw almonds in here. So a handful of raw almonds. Maybe we'll get those blueberries before they run away too far. And, you know, then I always say, then add the nutritives. So, basically, this is greens. It's not moringa. It's, oh my gosh, can't remember. Anyway, it's got chia, hemp, and flax. And I just like to put a scoop of that in. Or there's a lot of other greens.
And what are the benefits coming out of this?
Well, we've got, you know, a lot of good greens, which is just powerhouse when it comes to vitamins and minerals. So this is really healthy fibers, vitamins, minerals, great omega-3s, and good protein. So all of those together. So then I'm going to put like a big scoop of like protein powder. And this is, I do have the almonds in there, but just putting a big scoop of protein powder really just adds. And this is basically plant protein. So it's got your flax, your pumpkin seeds, your pea, and your rice protein. And you can even add like pomegranate juice powder. I usually like to add a little bit of that.
Pomegranates are so healthy.
Yeah, and being able to just take a spoonful of that instead of actually eating a pomegranate, which is rather laborious, makes sense.
Exactly. It's the biggest treat when we were children. Though.
Oh, we had a bunch of them in my parents' backyard as a kid, and I mean I loved them, but
right.
boy, it was a mess.
Freeze-dried products like this have all the health benefits and the
wonderful.
ease.
Right.
And then I like to add a couple of drops of either wild orange or lemon essential oil. I'm going to let you smell. Which one do you want in your smoothie? Wild orange or lemon?
I'll go for wild orange.
Okay. I usually go for the wild orange myself.
You have impeccable taste, by the way.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah.
And you can make great sweet potatoes.
You know, I went to Back to Basics and per your recommendation to check out their essential oils, and but it was I was having a hard time. I wanted to take one of everything.
Oh yeah, I know.
They've got some really interesting
great.
stuff there.
Well, you know what, and the thing is, you only use drops. We don't use.
So one little bottle, even though they're kind of pricey, they can last you quite a while.
Oh, for a long time because you're only using a drop or 2 or 3. So,
right.
Okay, and then we're just going to put this on and blend it up.
Well, I've made some smoothies before, but not with that much stuff in it. This is interesting.
Yeah, so
sometimes I like to put a
Oh.
slice or 2 of avocado in.
Oh,
also.
yes,
there you go.
avocado
Makes
is
it
good
creamier too,
Right,
but also all the benefits.
right. Makes sense.
Okay, so we're just going to give you a little bit of a taste and see what you think. Now, we could have blended this just a few seconds longer and had it a little smoother, but why don't you see what you think?
Oh, it smells wonderful.
And I love, I mean, I don't want to, but this NutriBullet is just the best.
It is fun. You can use a regular
definitely
blender, but it's kind of fun to do.
It is amazing what it does.
I've got a smaller version of that at home, and they are really very handy around the kitchen.
So what do you think?
This is excellent.
Isn't it good?
There's
Who would say
so many different flavors there.
Totally, but it doesn't taste like, you know.
Yeah, but it's good for you. No, this is really good.
So refreshing.
Well, it's really filling. The thing about a smoothie, it is packed full of vitamins, minerals, omegas, good healthy fats. You've got your good protein, good antioxidants. I mean, it's just full of good healthy things. If you want to have good energy for the day, you need to pump your body with good nutrition. And this is just packed full of good nutrition.
One of the things I've noticed, I have a big commercial juicer at home, and depending on what kind of vegetables we're juicing up, I find sometimes that I cannot get enough. I mean, my body just like craves what we're doing, and maybe we should listen to our bodies more.
Yeah, we do.
This is very good.
Good.
And with all the different things that went in there, I was starting to kind of wonder, but this is really good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, like I said, it's a great way to start your day. My husband asks for the smoothie because he knows he feels really good with it. And he may add some other things. To me, I'm happy, completely happy with just the smoothie. And he just loves it. So.
And like, how long
good
did
balance.
it take?
Oh,
right.
1 minute.
Right.
You know, to put it together. That's it. You know, even if you have to go to your freezer and pull these things out, I mean, you know, you're just scooping it all.
I can taste the orange essential oil.
Can you?
Yeah.
The 3 drops, and
yeah.
you only, you got maybe.
No wonder those bottles last so long. That makes sense.
Okay, so for lunch, let's just kind of get an idea for lunch. I made this last night. So I like having what I call a 1-meal salad. So this is basically on a bed of lettuce. We've got, cucumbers and yellow peppers. I've got 2 eggs down the middle, an avocado for healthy fats. And I always say you don't even have to have a dressing. Just pour a little bit of olive oil around it. Olive oil is really good. Also, you could pour some omega flax oil on it. And then I have a seasoned salt here that I make. And it's full of essential oils and herbs, and it's just really tasty. And
essential oils in your salt. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And actually smell it and see what you think.
Wow.
It's a really yummy essential oil seasoning salt. And like I said, this is just a great salad. It's completely filling.
Oh, there's something wrong with this one right here.
That's right.
Wow.
So, it's very filling. And like I said, you've got your really good proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals, fiber. All of that is really just packed full in there.
I need to get this recipe.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
That's really good.
So, afternoon snack. Just apples with almond butter. Literally, and I always say every eating interval you still should have raw foods.
Right.
So apples and raw almond butter, I mean, have a taste of that and see if you like that.
If you insist.
Yes, if I insist.
Please
He's
insist.
eating his way through this
now,
show.
sometimes I like to add a little
It's a dirty
bit.
job that someone's got to do.
Sometimes it's even fun to add, like wild orange to the almond butter, and it makes it a little bit more festive. So,
Wow, that's really good.
Is that good?
And then you got
Woo! And so
celery. And
yeah, you can do the celery, and I have an almond dip here that is very tasty too. And you can do that as an afternoon snack too. I mean, people love. You can even do
it's
the
afternoon
celery
somewhere
in the almond butter too, because celery is actually really good in almond butter. So those, either way, whether it's in the almond dip or whether it's in the
what is this?
Almond butter. This is actually an almond dip, and
That
it's
is
pretty
excellent.
tasty. Pretty tasty as well.
Sorry, I'm eating while I'm talking. I can't help myself. That is really good.
So one of my favorite dinners is what I call kind of one pot. And basically you can put either chicken or fish. This is actually fish. It's actually mahi. I marinated it. I added, so let me talk about the essential oils that I like to marinate with. Either you can do it more like Southwestern, and I will use coriander and lime and black pepper, kind of for a Southwest flavor, or you can do more of an Asian flavor that has lemongrass, ginger, and pink pepper. So lemongrass and ginger are really good, or, anyway, those are 2 really good combinations. I marinate my meat there, and then you just add your vegetables and steam it. Again, this is another 10-minute meal. Literally, it takes no more than 10 minutes.
Wow.
I cut up the meat, I put it in there and start cooking it. Then I add my vegetables, they cook for another 5 minutes, and you've got a complete meal. So, it's not complete. That's where I add the salad, or a little bit of salad or raw foods to go
Right.
with it. To me, it's still important
Very nice.
to add your raw foods to it. So basically, a smoothie, a good salad, a good snack, and a healthy dinner with still lots of vegetables. You've got your whole day of meals, starting from your fresh fruits and vegetables, and it's a very energizing day.
Right.
And then you'll sleep good at night.
And who knew that they had black pepper essential oil? That's the first I've heard of that. That's interesting.
Wonderful.
Really? Oh, smell it. You know what? And there's a lot of benefits to this. One of the
Wow.
best. Let me tell you just about
Amazing.
that black pepper so that people understand. Black pepper is full of antioxidants. It's good for immune building. It's also really good for digestion. So I love adding it to foods because it's really good for digestion. Pink pepper as well. It's a little sweeter. But the number one thing this does, it reduces cravings, and it's good for addictions. If you want to basically calm those cravings and addictions, black pepper is the bomb. It is so good.
Really?
And in its benefits, so it is just amazing. Our lime, they're alkalizing. Coriander is really, really good for balancing blood sugar. So this combination of the lime, the coriander, and black pepper, let me tell you, there's so many benefits. And like I said, you're just adding, drop or two. In fact, 1 drop of black pepper is really good for this whole thing. So
Wow.
that's it. 1 drop
Right.
of coriander. So you're just using drops.
And so when you do go to the store and you look at some of these essential oils again, and it's only a small number of them that are good for internal use.
Right.
But you'll see that the prices are, they're a little pricey, but when you think about how long that's going to last you,
Yes.
it makes good sense.
Well, always look for the supplement fact label if you want to use it internally. But when it comes to price, here's what I have found. The cheaper oils are actually diluted and they'll go rancid.
Wow.
And if you don't have a pure essential oil, then it's easy to go bad in a few years. Where these will actually last indefinitely. Keep them out of the light and out of the heat. They will literally last you forever.
Very interesting.
And that's the beauty of a pure essential oil. All the wonderful benefits that are there, it's just awesome to be able to do them. And then you've added such great flavor to your food.
That's what the amazing thing is. And you're saying for that whole pan, that one pan deal, that you're only talking a couple of drops.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually used the Asian, and I did 3 drops of lemongrass, 1 drop of ginger, and 1 drop of pink pepper
In that whole pot.
in that whole pot.
Wow.
And basically I did it here, but it kind of spreads to the others, so you get a little bit of
Now,
flavor
do you-
throughout.
Just, do you put the essential oils in the pot to begin with and then add the other food to it, or?
What I did specifically for this was I marinated the meat overnight
Okay.
in those, the oils and a little bit of salt. So this morning, and you don't have to marinate it, just mix them up if you want. But to me, to save time, and it does go deeper, but then I just threw them all in here. And turned it on, and it, like I said, it takes less than 10 minutes to cook.
Wow. Very good idea. I like it.
Yeah. So
Again, you're compounding your health because of the benefits of what the oils do and how much more packed they are of all the good, nutrients. And then you've got the flavor. And there's so much information out. I mean, I'm going to just say for doTERRA alone, their website is incredible as far as being able to pull up any one of these oils and look at all the components, of what it brings to the table. No
Right.
pun intended.
Right. Oh, interesting though, and it's in this day and age where there's so much processed food that we're eating, and it's kind of, in a manner of speaking, being shoved down our throat on TV and everything else. Getting back to just the real food and the basics, it really does us a great service.
And it's hard. It might be hard for some people to start. I know I struggle. I go back and forth, but I know where to go when it's time to get healthy again. And that's why we say, even if it's just starting with some snacks that are easy to put together, maybe this is nothing you can do right away. I mean, you should be able to.
Well, these are all just, I mean, to me, it seems difficult to make that transition. That's the only hard part. Because these are all simple foods. I mean, what is more simple than just basically...
And you're talking just a few minutes.
Just a few minutes. I mean, it really is actually simple. And sometimes we think it's hard, but it's just the transition of, you know, okay, I'm not going to eat that, and start with this. To me, this is huge.
Exactly.
What's that?
Yeah. And you know,
go ahead.
You know, there's, you know, I've seen like on the internet, Meatless Monday. You know, so that would be something you can do. You're just going to have a vegetarian day or at least a meal, and then the next day you can say, I'm going to just powerhouse it through with fresh fruits and vegetables. You know, there's just ways of basically tricking yourself into doing it for fun, and before you know it, you know.
So what do you think?
That mahi-mahi is excellent. And the flavors from the, wow, I'm astounded by that. That's really good. And you said it was lemongrass, ginger, and pink pepper.
Yeah.
Isn't
that good?
Very, very flavorful. I like it a lot.
Well, you'll have to taste the rest of them and see if, you know, there's not a real strong flavor in the rest, but it's just really mild. It's there, you know, it's
nice.
Kind of diffused through it. And like I said, it's such a great way to be eating. And it's a simple way. So.
I know. I mean, look at all you've got.
Now,
how do you feel about, for a lot of people asking about, you know, the carbohydrates like rice or potatoes? I mean, some people cannot get through a meal without potato.
Yeah.
So
meat and potatoes.
And you could put a sliced potato and potato wedges in here too.
Right.
This is actually a butternut squash. I didn't even mention, but you could put that in there too. The thing that we want to emphasize as well is it's our carbs that are killing us.
Exactly.
And so the more, if you can eliminate a lot of your breads and a lot of your potatoes, a lot of your starches, basically trade them for all these carbohydrates. This is packed full with carbohydrates. So if people are eating a lot of grains and breads and pastas and potatoes and rice and buns and all of these other things on top of this, then that's where it's overload on carb, and we are overweight and dysfunctional simply because we are overcarbing it. And this is packed full of carbs, basically, when we
more
get
complex ones.
They are the complex carbs. And we're focusing more on fresh and raw vitamins, minerals, fiber, good proteins, good fats, and it's just a healthier way of eating. But thank you for bringing that
I
up.
think that's a big thing with a lot of people. I know I like my carbs sometimes, obviously. But, you know, like what I do when I'm in a pinch and I'm throwing dinner together after work, sometimes I'll buy the butternut squash that's already been ribboned or, you know, so I can cook that instead of using potatoes or rice, and it's already sort of done pretty for me, and just steam it up.
Makes sense.
Absolutely. It takes time
to think it through.
But if you just start slow, you'll find yourself integrating all these things very easily. And
can't say enough good things about the essential oils. Wow. And I'm picky. That's really good. So now if people want to find out more about some of the things that we've been talking about today, again, your website.
ErleenTilton.com. That's ErleenTilton.com. And actually, I do have a contact form there, so just go on to the contact me. Contact me. Let me see how I can help you. Because if you're trying to go through this transition, I can help you out. We can help you out. I mean, that's what we're here for, and that's what we do best.
And you can actually also shoot an email to ask@ErleenTilton.com as well.
Absolutely.
Outstanding. Always a pleasure to have you. I mean, it's always good to see you all, but you bring some really good food when you come in. So
She's
it's always
amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Thanks for joining us
Thank
this
you.
morning, and thanks for being here.